Finding a profitable niche rarely starts with clarity. It starts with uncertainty, quiet mornings, and the feeling that something isn't clicking yet. Many entrepreneurs begin with ideas everywhere, but no direction. The noise can feel productive while hiding the real problem.
Watching others build businesses makes it seem simple, but their paths are rarely visible from the outside.
Failed attempts often pile up quietly, creating doubt about whether the right niche even exists.
The search for a niche often happens between moments, not during bold decisions, but during restless walks like this.
A niche isn't about what sounds exciting. It's about what quietly holds your attention over time.
Information is everywhere. Direction is rare. Most people confuse the two during this stage. Confusion isn't failure. It's often the first honest signal that you're asking the right questions. Profitable niches don't appear fully formed. They emerge when observation replaces rushing.
Letting go of weak ideas is uncomfortable, but necessary before stronger patterns can surface.
Online conversations reveal what people complain about, long before they reveal what they'll pay for.
Somewhere between frustration and curiosity, a niche begins to take shape.
Patterns matter more than passion. Repetition points toward opportunity.
This phase feels slow, but it builds the foundation most people skip. Research doesn't kill creativity. It focuses it.
One idea starts to feel heavier than the rest. Not exciting, but solid.
A niche begins as a hypothesis, not of commitment.
The goal isn't certainty. It's enough clarity to take the next step.
This is where the real work begins, long before anyone calls it success.
Once an idea is chosen, doubt usually arrives immediately, questioning whether it's too small to matter.
Early math rarely looks encouraging. Most niches appear unprofitable before they're understood.
Progress slows here, not because the idea is wrong, but because confidence hasn't caught up yet.
Second guessing is common when commitment replaces imagination.
Building alone often feels isolating, especially when no one else sees the vision yet.
Competition can feel discouraging until you realize it proves money already flows here.
Listing doubts on paper gives them boundaries. Left unchecked, they grow endlessly.
Many quit at this stage, mistaking uncertainty for a warning instead of a transition.
Complaints reveal gaps. Gaps reveal niches hiding in plain sight.
Ideas often clarify when the pressure of productivity is removed.
Simplicity is uncomfortable, but complex niches rarely survive contact with reality.
Spending even small amounts forces you to think like a customer, not a dreamer.
Narrowing focus feels risky, yet profitability almost always lives there.
Momentum pauses here, testing patience more than skill.
Feedback stings, but it sharpens the niche faster than isolation ever could.
Pricing forces honesty about value and exposes whether the niche is real.
Letting old ideas go creates space for one to finally grow.
Action replaces speculation when the niche starts facing the real world.
Waiting for responses feels longer than it is, but it changes everything.
This is the moment. Struggle begins turning into direction.
One response is enough to change perspective. Proof matters more than encouragement.
Clarity doesn't arrive as confidence. It arrives as small confirmations, stacking quietly.
The niche sharpens when the problem is stated simply and without decoration.
Saying no to adjacent ideas protects the one that finally makes sense.
Doubt fades not through motivation, but through repeated understanding.
Seeing the customer's path reveals where value is actually created.
Conversations become focused when you're serving.
Simplicity begins to feel intentional rather than limiting.
The niche stops feeling theoretical when daily life starts aligning around it.
Numbers don't excite, but they explain what intuition could not.
Routine forms when the niche becomes part of how you think.
Old knowledge becomes useful once context is finally clear.
Work feels quieter now. Less guessing. More building.
Momentum no longer needs excitement. It survives on structure.
Progress becomes visible when tasks finally connect to outcomes.
Confidence grows quietly, without announcement.
Planning shifts from possibility to expectation.
A niche becomes real when you can explain it without effort.
There's relief in knowing what to ignore.
Clarity doesn't end the journey. It finally gives it direction. Execution begins quietly, through ordinary days that don't feel important at the time. Building a niche integrates into life, not separate from it.
Small actions compound faster than big plans ever did.
Time becomes a resource to protect, not something to fill.
Consistency replaces urgency as the main driver forward.
Systems matter more once effort is no longer random.
Conversations feel practical now, focused on solving real problems. Pricing evolves as understanding deepens, not as confidence spikes.
Reflection becomes part of the routine, not an escape from work.
Progress shows up weekly, not daily.
Patterns in feedback guide adjustments, better than assumptions ever did.
Order appears naturally once priorities are clear.
The work loses drama, but gains reliability.
Repeatability is where profitability quietly lives. Evenings feel lighter when work aligns with direction.
Data becomes a guide instead of a judgment.
Outreach turns into habit, not hesitation.
Space to think is no longer avoidance. It's maintenance.
Improvements become incremental, and therefore sustainable.
Execution doesn't feel heroic, but it finally feels real.
Looking back reveals progress that daily effort never made obvious.
Repetition in language shows what customers truly care about.
Positioning improves when you speak the customer's words, not your own.
Less offering often creates more value.
Lessons settle in during ordinary movement, not dramatic moments.
Revenue feels less like winning and more like validation.
Listening becomes more important than explaining once trust forms.
Writing clarifies lessons before they fade into routine.
Stillness helps separate what worked from what merely felt busy.
Every strong niche is built around one problem, taken seriously.
Some chapters end quietly, without celebration.
Clear messaging feels obvious only after the work is done.
Pace matters less once direction is stable.
Refinement never stops, but it becomes lighter.
Reflection turns experience into advantage.
Lessons inform the future without dragging the past along.
The niche feels stable when urgency finally fades.
Focus becomes easier when priorities are proven.
What once felt fragile now feels dependable.
Long-term thinking begins when survival is no longer the main concern.
The niche now supports planning beyond the next month.
Business fits into the world without demanding constant attention.
Confidence now comes from evidence, not optimism.
Learning becomes selective once the niche is proven.
Sustainability matters more than speed at this stage.
Space appears when work no longer consumes every thought.
Systems protect focus and preserve energy.
The niche supports life instead of competing with it.
Awareness replaces fear when experience accumulates.
Growth is chosen carefully, not chased.
Reflection keeps success from becoming noise.
Perspective widens when urgency dissolves.
Focus now protects what was hard-earned.
Business blends into life without friction.
The niche is no longer searched for. It's lived.
Boundaries preserve both clarity and motivation.
Profit matters, but alignment is what lasts.
Finding a profitable niche is less about discovery and more about becoming someone who sees clearly.